Okay, our songs will be led today by Ron and Jeff, who've been practicing this morning, and it's going to be wonderful.
Good morning. Would you please stand? We'll sing Surely the Presence was right inside your front cover.
Surely the presence of our
Thank you, Ron and Jeff. And you heard it from the music man itself. Everybody sounds wonderful. Okay, I'm looking at the order of service here. So this is the part where I get to say, welcome to Unity, everybody. Do we have any new people here today? No? Everybody looks familiar to me. No? Donna, is this your first time?
It's my second time.
Second time?
Mary Louise that I'm here.
Pam is here. She hasn't been here for a while.
Same here. It's about my second time.
Welcome back. We're glad you came back. We're glad Mary...
Your entourage is here.
And welcome to everybody in our...
I think you went away.
Who's out there watching?
Laura, I think you went away. Promise not in your set. I'll fix this. Let me see.
Go to...
Can you bring it over here for a second? Okay. I'm sorry. Well, there you go. If this gets too slick for you, let us know.
This is how they break in the new guy. Okay. All right. So I was saying welcome to everybody here, and welcome to the people in our Zoom-verse who are here in spirit. I can feel their love, and I hope they feel the love that we beam out to them. Okay. Now for our announcements. We are continuing to collect backpacks for the Davis Children's Shelter, and we thank Dewey Lester for taking those. If you're not aware, the children come in and need to transition to another place to live, and a lot of times they're carrying their belongings in trash bags, so we try to provide bags for them. We're collecting non-perishable snacks and hygiene products for the Sojourner Shelter in October. If you'd like to donate those, there's a bin at the base of the stairs, that way. We are a tithing church. UKV tithes 10% of everything we bring in, and so we thank you for your offerings. This month in October, our tithe will go to HealthRight. If you're in need of prayer, call our prayer chaplain line at 304-945-0033 or Silent Unity. It's in your program. We're always there for you, ready to pray. Thank you to everyone who participates in our Amazon Smile and Kroger fundraisers. They help raise bits of money, which Pam could tell us, or Barbie could tell us how much that is. About $1,000 a year, and it doesn't come out of our pockets. It's just a matter of signing up and recognizing Unity as the charity. We have T-shirts and tote bags for sale out here if you'd like them. They're wonderful. I have them. I love my little Unity tote. It's a fun way to carry your things around. We are accepting donations through our website. So if you'd like to donate through PayPal, you can find a link on our website. We're also collecting donations for Justin's kidney transplant. Justin Adam got a new kidney at Cleveland Clinic a few weeks ago, and he and his grandma Kate are there. They're going to be there for many weeks. It's not cheap. The latest update is that he's doing well. He's starting to walk around again. And if you were here last week, you heard a little bit about Kate's ingenuity with helping with his medical equipment, looking for a little device to clear some tubage. This week, it was Gorilla Tape to repair a piece of his medical equipment. Kate continues to represent Unity and represent West Virginia ingenuity. It costs some money. Even the Gorilla Tape costs money. So if you want, yes.
We have raised
We have raised $1,900 so far to help out that family. Yay! If you donate through PayPal, if you'll put a note on there that it's for Justin, it'll go that way. If you'd like to write a check, make sure that it's written to Unity and then designated for Justin. Or there's also a GoFundMe. Is that it?
I don't know. It's an old GoFundMe, so
Right, yeah, I would
tax deduction if you do it through us.
do it through us. Get the tax deduction, feel good about everything. Okay, Thursdays, the book study continues on Zoom at 8 o'clock, I believe. I missed the last 2 weeks, so bad on me, but Breathing Underwater is the book by Richard Rohr. It's a 12-step book, and Richard Rohr's insights are always a lot of fun, and hearing what other people have to say about those things, their takeaways, is part of the enjoyment. Barbie's Unravel group is Wednesday, October 26th at 5:15. It's a journaling and discussion group open to all. It's to provide a safe, supportive atmosphere to promote self-awareness and self-expression for the purpose of connecting, learning, growing, and making friends. There's a trifecta. Please contact Barbie for reservations. She's right there. You can contact her in person. Sunday, October 30th, is our new member Sunday. We're going to welcome new members. Yay! Very excited about that. We have some people who will be here live, and then some of our Zoom people have decided to become members too. If you haven't renewed or you wish to become a member, there's forms in the seats. It's a simple process, not a whole lot to it, and we would welcome you as members if you're not. After our New Member Sunday and our annual meeting, that same Sunday, we're going to have a catered luncheon downstairs and get together and spend some time together and welcoming the new members and spending some time with each other. Sunday, November 5th, is Soul Collage at 1:30 to 5 o'clock with Megan Lyon. The cost is $50 and includes all materials. Pre-registration is required, and there's an email address in your insert. For 5 Mondays, Barbie again is doing a workshop on radical prosperity from 5:15 to 6:30. Love offering is suggested. It's a Barbie Dahlman special. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful.
I do know more about it now.
Barbie channels her inspiration and then shares it with all of us. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. I think that's all the announcements. And now we'll go into...
Check. Let's trade you.
Ron comes through every time. So now we're going into a period of extended prayer, and Alexa Peck is going to lead us in a meditation.
If you would, take a deep breath and center that breath in your heart space, knowing every breath you take comes to you freely and abundantly at just the right time. Let's take a few breaths together, breathing in gratitude, breathing out anything you are ready to release, anything you no longer need, thanking it and letting it go. Breathing in gratitude. I'm so grateful for this breath, this life, the clarity of this moment. Breathing out, letting go of what no longer serves. Breathing in health, breathing in wellness, releasing the old, breathing in freshness, freedom, joy, choice, breathing out and letting go of anything that is too heavy, too old, no longer serving you, letting go. And in this calm moment, from our heart space, we are connected to our source, that divine love that moves in and through us and all around us. That love radiates around each one of us, to our family and friends, to our neighbors, to our community, throughout the continent and across the oceans and all around the world. Radiating love, peace, abundance, prosperity, health, and wellness. So it is. Amen. Next, we have our daily word.
Thank you, Alexa. Today's daily word topic is joy. I delight in simple joys. Joy, it has been said, comes much more from wanting what we have than from having what we want. Reflecting on this thought, I embrace the simple joys that this day offers. I enjoy my morning coffee or tea, savoring its flavor and fragrance, walking through my neighborhood with my beloved Ica Rose, best dog ever, and my lovely soulmate, Barbie, best wife ever. I greet friends, smile at people I haven't yet met, and enjoy the fresh air I find I find satisfaction in taking care of my home, being gainfully unemployed, the retirement pension, or helping a friend. Even if I am not with them today, I feel joy as I think of my connection with the people I care most about. I know joy whenever I look for possibilities rather than focusing on problems. My greatest joy is my awareness that wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, God is always with me. Our verse today is from Psalm 16:11. You show me the path of life. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore. I ad-libbed a bit about the dog and the wife and the retirement, but after all, this is about joy. Thanks for your understanding.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. Where there's kind sadness, ever joy. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to understand as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace.
that we are pardoned. It is in giving to all that we receive, and in dying we are born to eternal life. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in giving to all that we receive, and in dying we are born to eternal life. It is in giving to all that we receive, and in dying we are born to eternal life.
Thank you, Ron and Jeff. That was beautiful as always. Today we have our very own Mary Louise King, who's going to talk to us about her journey in overcoming depression. Depression has touched my family in profound ways, and so many people. And I can't wait to hear her story. Mary Louise is a fascinating person. She's got a lot going on. Among her other talents is technical skills. She's got her own mic. Take it away, Mary Louise.
Thank you all.
Please welcome her.
Let's see, maybe I'll just put this here. Can you all hear me? Am I on? Yes, okay. I am a survivor of depression. In other words, I am still here. I did not commit suicide. And my story for many people is, many people are attracted to me because they might come alongside because they feel a little low. And because I have truly been there, I've been a great help for them. A friend saved my life. So if you ever get an inkling that maybe you should call somebody, be sure to call, because you could save their life. The reason I became depressed was I am a very sensitive person. So if someone says something to me, I really take it into my heart, and I might compulsively think about it. This sensitivity is a good point and a bad point. For instance, steadfastness is you think of being good, and stubbornness as being bad. So it has both sides to it. And sensitivity is much the same way. Because I am so sensitive, I'm a wonderful dancer. All I have to do is get a cue, I respond, I do my part. But this sensitivity is also what got me into trouble. Overall, there's 3 tiers to health. there's the first part is chemical, which would be what we take into our body are nutrients that would include medicines. And then the second part would be mechanical or structural, such as posture and how you move in the world. The third part is emotional, which has a lot to do with how you socialize yourself, how much stress you have, and we're to be taking care of all three of these parts. My job right now is to help people move and socialize. I teach classes in yoga and Pilates. I also teach Silver Sneakers, which is a chair-based class, and they can do yoga around the chair or fitness, like raise weights and march around the chair or whatever. So I try to take care of people to make sure they get the movement and the socialization, but I also pass around all these hints that have helped me all through my life. I'm 68. I have a lot of life that I've lived. I'm looking forward to a lot more. And so I'm becoming what I would call maybe a matriarch in society because of all the things that I have gone through. These are some things that I learned about depression, that the exhale is very important. For instance, just sigh. Go ahead, do it with me. Okay, doesn't that make you feel better? Like as if something was just over with. You have gotten it done, you're all over. And that is because it's part of the exhale. The exhale is when, if you do a breathing meditation, the exhale is when you kick into the parasympathetic part of your nervous system. So we have two parts. Everybody has two parts of their nervous system. One is sympathetic, and the other one is parasympathetic. Sympathetic is fight or flight. Parasympathetic is rest and digest. So whenever you see something that's alarming, you go, the inhale, right? Whenever you see something that is relaxing, you might go, oh, I'm so glad that's done. Or look at that beautiful mountain and those trees. It's all, blowing it away, sort of. So I teach my class how to do this. We do this in class, and I teach them about these different things about the body. So part of me overcoming depression was I became familiar with my heart. What was happening was I was compulsively, totally overthinking, and all these thoughts seemed very logical, and they led to very deep and dark bad feelings that I couldn't even think a positive thought. But once I got in touch with my heart, I was able to open up and expand instead of being all crunched in. So I teach my classes not to, we're not allowed to sit there and be crunched in. Like if they're lifting weights like this, I say, well, you guys look like a bunch of gorillas out there. So I have them open up. So whenever you open up like this, you are exposing your heart and opening your heart. And when you're down like this, you are contracting your heart. So some of the movements we do would be like what you've heard of cat-cow. Angry cat, you roll your back up. Saggy cow, you dump it down like this. So, but maybe we'd be sitting in a chair. On the mat, we do cat-cow, but I'll have them do this, and like this, and that opens and closes their heart. And so we talk about posture. Posture would be somewhere in between where you're balanced, where you're not crunched in like this, and you're not over like that. And so, I have people do this in their meditation time at home. If you do this, like when you wake up, say if you're sitting in your chair and you open up and close up, you might come up with this great idea that you might not have gotten at any other time. And if you do get it, be sure to write it down, because it's like dreaming. You know how you might have this great dream, but you can't remember it. So if you don't write it down right then, you'll lose it. And some of these ideas that I got on how to overcome depression came from movement. So there's a couple of things that I learned also, and that was that when any animal is afraid or anxious, they will shake. And I felt so shaky inside because I had a lot of anxiety. And so I would be like shaking inside. And I just decided to go ahead and add some more shaking to it, because it actually, the movement just helps to dissipate the nervousness. And also, I thought about if this was where I was dwelling and it was all very negative and dark, that I could snap out of it. So I just moved myself over to a different dwelling place. I'll tell you more about this as I finish what I want to talk about. The way I got depressed was when I was 28 years old, I had a small fender bender. I did not think anybody was hurt. But 2 years later to the date, we were sued for $150,000. We only had $25,000 insurance. My son was 6 months old when the accident happened. When he was 2 years and 6 months old, that's when we were sued. Well, the lawsuit lasted 3 years. That's a really long time. And because we only had $25,000, we had to pay an extra lawyer, a high fee, that we didn't really have the money. And I had quit work because my degree's in interior design, but whenever Joshua was born, my first son, I decided to stay home with him, and I wasn't able to help with the finances. Well, you know, when you sign that agreement that you're going to get married, it's a agreement with the state that you're getting a marriage license and that you will now take care of each other. And financially is mostly what it's all about, this agreement with the state, that if one person doesn't pay the bill, the other person will. Well, I just felt like I couldn't help out at all. My husband didn't think I could help out either, and he got very upset with me. And he would say over and over that I had ruined his life. And it was so difficult on me for him to say that, and he even asked for a divorce. That was the first time he asked for a divorce. And I became so anxious because I thought, how will I take care of my 2-year-old son? How will what will I do for a job? I mean, I had gotten out of interior design, and could I get back into it? What would I do? So looking back, I realized that part of what my problem was that I really tried to please so much, and what people would say would really bother me. When I was a little kid, I'd get in trouble all the time, and I would go and hide under my bed with my dog, and I would just shut her there and cry and cry and cry, and totally exhaust myself. And then afterwards, I would feel a little bit better. But of course, that didn't change my behavior. It was just emotional things that I went through. And so back then, I started to believe in God. I was about 8 years old, and all of a sudden, I decided that there definitely was a God, and that I believed in him, and that I had angels watching over me, and I really could talk under the bed to God, and I didn't feel all alone because he was there. And so I learned, because I trusted God, that I didn't get bitter with my parents, you know what I mean, for always being in trouble, because I really didn't ever feel like they understood me. So anyway, whenever this lawsuit happened, I felt like I was back under that bed. Only thing is, I started thinking, is there a God? And where was my angels? Why didn't they stop this accident? And I had no dog, and I was really far away from my family. And so therefore, I plunged into a very, very deep depression, which started by small thoughts about it, but then I became compulsively negative about it. I couldn't even think a positive thought. I just ran over and over and over compulsive negative thoughts. But just in the nick of time, this girlfriend calls, and she says, "Hi, Mary Louise, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm doing terrible." It was like darkness everywhere. And she said, "Well, you know, I read in my Bible Psalm 32 and 33. She says, "Why don't you try that?" And I was like, I could never have thought of a positive thought myself, or an idea to do. I was very low. But I decided I would go get my Bible and I'd read Psalm 32 and 33. And this one verse, I don't know if this has ever happened, you might be reading a book or the Bible or something, like something just sticks out and you just have to stay on that thing. It like burns a hole in your heart or something. And the verse was Psalm 32:7. This is it. "God, you are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance." And so I started thinking songs of deliverance. And all of a sudden, it's sort of like I had a spark, ignite in my heart, just a very small spark, and just a very, very small inkling of light. And I started thinking, you know, maybe I could let my heart speak. And what would be the language of my heart? It certainly wasn't all these negative words. I thought, that's delivered me by songs of deliverance. I thought, I will try to sing. And so I just made up songs. And I found that I could actually sing a song, but I couldn't think of positive thought. And so I would sometimes just pound my chest like this and say, Lord, help me, help me. I just make anything up, just any type of and then I would just picture like that he was helping me and he was surrounding me, and I started moving my body, and all this just seemed like it was a little wee bit lifting me up. And so, you know that verse that says to dance and sing like nobody's looking? Well, the person that was looking at all this was all these judgmental thoughts that I was having. It was my own self looking at myself and judging me, like I ruined his life, I ruined my son's life, my life was a failure, I should just die. Because what I thought was, there's so many clouds, and we know that beyond the clouds there is sunshine. And I thought, you know, the easiest way to get to sunshine would be just to die. It'd be better for everybody. But these thoughts became overcome by light thoughts and lovely thoughts, and they all came through song. So I tried to get just a reprieve from all this mental turmoil. And I had read this book. This was a long time ago because I am an interior designer. I know how to draw. And I had this book. This is from a long time ago. If you are my age, you might realize, it might still be in print. It's called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And it's about, you draw with your left hand, and that fires the right brain. And over in the right brain is where there's creativity. Like if you wanted to get a creative thought, you could even do your journaling with your left hand. And if you got a thought, you need to write it down because it will be fleeting, it'll be gone. So anyway, play and creativity, and I also felt like there was just a connection to God on the right side. But on my left side is where all those words were, numbers. It was very logical, like A plus B equals C, like you should just die. That was the end, the logical conclusion. And so I thought, you know, I need to spend more time on the right side of my brain. So I thought heart, left hand, brain, like this triangle here. And so I started conducting my own music, my left hand, so I could fire my right side of my brain. And so that was my first indication. I started actually playing. So here's this girl that couldn't even think a positive thought, but I could play, I could sing, I could move my left hand and draw and do things like that, and that actually saved my life. Because this girl called me and asked me to read this verse, which meant so much to me, surround myself with songs of victory, which I believe is how the heart speaks. And so, let's see, I realized back then, as same as it is right now with all of us, we don't try to just get through this day. We try to get through one moment at a time. When you're depressed, that is definitely what it's like. You're not thinking like, got to get through this minute or this hour or this day. You just think, I have to get through this moment. And the right side of the brain is where the moments are. It's all present tense. It's like what's going on right now. The left side of the brain is past and present. So you have a lot of regrets looking back to the past, some good memories, and then anxiety about the future. I really couldn't let this side, do too much because I needed to stay in the present moment if I was going to live. That was the only thing that saved my life, is staying in the present moment. So anyway, let's see, when I would get nervous, this is what I'd do, okay. Have you ever been nervous, like you shake inside, you actually are shaking, and it's mostly because you're anxious about something that's going to happen, not something that's happening right now. So I'd start getting shaking inside, my stomach would bubbling up, and I'd start shaking, and I started thinking of this song that I knew when I was a little kid, and it's, I'm a little teapot, short and stout, here is my handle, here is my spout, when I get excited, I'm bubbling up, just hear me shout, just tip me over and pour me out. So I would see stuff, in other words, I was going to do something with this anxiety rather than just leave it all bubble up. I lived through it. It wasn't like I distracted myself from it. I accepted it as being part of what was going on in my life right now. I let it bubble up, and then I thought about, well, I'll pour it out, like maybe I could do something positive for somebody else. So that led me to something that I've passed on to many people, and that is God's shelf. God's shelf. This will tremendously help you if you want to try it. So we have this brain. I had the compulsive thoughts over here, and I had the lighthearted, present moment thoughts over here, but my left brain really wanted to say something. It didn't want to be left out. And so I decided that I would give it, at first, 30 minutes a day, that it could worry, it could do anything it wanted to do in 30 minutes. And words are over here, so on pieces of paper, I would write down my worries, my anxieties, anything that was on my mind, even my goals, because, see, we have to have the left brain. That's what kind of gets us out of bed, takes us to work, and bye, Violet. And, all right. Oh, sorry. So anyway, God's shelf is where I wrote the things down. I only allowed myself 30 minutes a day to do God's shelf. And then the rest of the day, I tried to stay in the present moment. When these thoughts came up, I would tell myself, well, you put that on God's shelf. You have 30 minutes later to go look at that, you know, that anxiety that you have. And I found that the thing, what if, I could not think what if. What if was deadly to me. So I thought that what I would do, this is my creativity coming out, I would put what if in a box, tie it up, and send it away. I wasn't allowed to do what ifs at all, because those would really, really get me in trouble. So this idea of God's shelf was something that I learned in interior design, whole part whole. When we were working on a house, we had to always think of the whole house and what the design was in this whole house, how it was supposed to feel, you know, the theme of the house, the colors. And say if I was working in a bathroom, that'd be part of the house. So whole was whole, and then part, and then whole. So this 30-minute shelf was the part. I tried to keep my viewpoint wide as to the whole world, and not just this problem that we were sued, and I was ruining people's lives. So anyway, I'd start thinking about the low things in my life, okay? They were like, these are the low things. Shame, like it's your fault. Blame, no, it's their fault. Guilt, you are not enough. Apathy, who cares? Fear, what if? That's the deadly one. Regret, oh, if only. Grief, I am so sad. Anger was any kind of inflammation that I had. Jealousy and envy were forms of hate for me. So those were all like dramatic ways that I would be expressing myself. And I started to think, how do I want to express myself? I don't want to be doing all that stuff. Those are like low notes. How could I get some high vibes? And I started to think about love, joy, peace, the fruits of the Spirit, gentleness, patience, kindness, all those things. And those were high notes, okay? And so I would sing on that. So, you know, on this piece of paper, the left brain would say, this is how it thinks logically. Think about a high note. So I would pick maybe kindness, and I would start saying, kindness, 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 kindness. I love kindness. I am kind. I love kindness. Okay, so that was how I would keep myself from thinking the negative thought. And I found out that it just worked. It was just, it helped me to, I was compulsively stuck, as if I was stuck in quicksand. And the more I tried to go forward, that made me sink deeper. The more I looked back, I sunk deeper, but this song like lifted me up out of the quicksand. And so singing actually is what caused me to overcome depression. And I think I'm running sort of out of time, so I just want to conclude with saying, if any of this could help you, wonderful. Try to sing more. It'll bring more joy into your life. And this whole idea of how there is different parts of our brain is written about in this book. And I can give this book to the library if you want to sign it out. It's really Nancy Meyer's book that she's donating. And this lady named Jill Bolte Taylor, she's a PhD, and she learned all this stuff because she had a stroke on the right side of her, or left side of her brain, so she only had the right side to work with. It was called My Stroke of Insight. She did a YouTube on it. It went the first YouTube to ever go viral, and so she lived with only the right side of her brain, and got healed to have both sides. It took 8 years. And so then she wrote the second book, Whole Brain Thinking, and she learned just exactly what I learned, that there was 2 parts of my brain that I couldn't really trust this part all the time. If this was only running the show, the left side of my brain was where the ego is and what all you're going to do and everything in life. And if you felt like you were a failure, well, then that really very much like shouts over here. And the right side is where the connection to God is, and all creativity and play. She says this in this book. I was so surprised to see that she learned the very same things that I learned. So it's very difficult to read because she's a PhD, but you'll get the idea. And then also I'm videoing today because I have my own YouTube channel. It's called Mary Louise King Lovely Light Living, because I found out lovely light living is what makes life so much joyous, and it's what I would want for everybody. So I have all kinds of videos up there. I am really gaining a lot of subscribers and a lot of watch time views, and then that way I can even monetize that. But I just want to help people. If I've gone through something, I want to be able to help someone that could maybe use it. And if you don't be brave and actually tell your stories. So Philippians 4:8 was the one that said, think on these things. Think on things that were true and lovely and praiseworthy. That's 3 of them. And I started with me and my husband. I need to tell you how it all ended up. That verse just came to me also, like, what are things that are true? And I thought, maybe he's using his left brain just like I was, and he's just spurting out this stuff, fear thoughts, that I had ruined his life and he wanted a divorce. And I just felt like I needed to forgive him for that. That, I might have done the same thing if I was in his situation, because it's your left brain trying to figure things out and what could be logical. Let's just get rid of her, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I forgave him, and how it ended up was, at the end, before we had the lawsuit settled, before the 3 years were up, he came to me and he said, Mary Louise, we started out with nothing. Everything we've gained, we could lose all of that, and we'll just start over again. We'll just start over. And I thought, wow, that's the answer. I mean, it still gives me goose pimples, the fact that at any time in our life, we can start over. And so just asking that question, is it true? I mean, is it true that I ruined his life? I didn't. If anything, it made our life richer, because we went through an experience together, and we connected and kept on going. So thank you for having me, and it's a joy to speak to all, and thank you all my friends that came. I appreciate it. And let's just close our eyes a minute. I'll give a little tiny meditation. We just thank you for love and light surrounding us at all times, that it's always there, even if we're not experiencing it. We know it's there, and we have ways of tapping into that by just calming ourselves down and thinking of ways our heart could be expressed. We thank you for the language of the heart and how it's actually stronger than all the brain could come up with, and yet how it works together. Our heart, our left hand, and our brain. We're very thankful. Amen. Thank you.
If the ushers could come forward. And we can say our offering blessing together, which is on page 2 of the bulletin. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God, and I am grateful.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see that it's getting late, please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Oh, put a little love in your heart. Another day goes by, still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your Just wait and see. Sing it to me. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Oh, put a little love in your heart. Yeah.
Mother, Father, God, we are so grateful for these offerings of love. We are so grateful to be together today. We are so grateful for the wonderful music. We are so grateful for the wisdom of the speaker today and this time together to renew our hearts and minds. And so it is, amen. And we'll gather now for the peace song and birthdays.
All right. Do we have any birthdays or anniversaries today? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody you know? A friend, a neighbor, a Facebook friend? Yeah, we're going to have to spread this out just a little bit here.
Hey, that's progress, you know?